going for an upgraded draw system today. So this is the front runner Discovery 3-4 draw system. It retails, by the time I could get it imported over here, it was about 2,700 bucks, and picked it up second hand for 900, and she's in bloody good nick. So I'm going to be ripping out the old Super Center specials and replacing them with exciting. And I'm going to run the cabling for my dual battery setup in the back of the car as well. So I've just held mine in with turnbuckles off the existing tie down points, which is the exact same way that the new front runner ones are tied down. So one here, one over in that corner, and same with this side, one down there and one in that corner. And all I done was just drill a quick hole and bolt the turnbuckle to the drawers themselves. So I'm just getting my cabling and stuff ready for the main feed to the BCDC charger inside the car. Pretty much you need a fuse as close to the battery as possible, so I'm going to drop it down here with the rest of my fuses and all that crap. It's a 40 amp hour DC-DC charger, so I've just got one of these fuse links and a 50 amp fuse, and yeah, basically I'll have like a 300mm length of positive cable with a lug on it, which will bolt to this, and I'll mount that down here somewhere, and then the rest of the cable is going to run all the way down the chassis and up through that aircon rubber grommet that I showed you guys earlier. Right, so the cabling I'm using is, I think I can't remember the lettering, 6BMS or something. It's for like chargers and shit like that. And I reckon looking at the length of how far I've got to run this, I probably should have gone like the dash 8 size, but it'll still do. So I'm just gonna strip this back and solder the terminal onto the cabling, and then I'll get the length that I actually want for the fuse, and then we'll go from there. So I know I'm going to get slandered for not crimping and soldering it on there, but I don't have any crimping pliers for it, and I don't like using normal ones on these lugs. And personally, I actually don't mind soldering it in and then heat shrinking afterwards. I haven't had any dramas with it yet, but I don't want to eat my own words. So ideally you want the crimping tool. fuse and positive done. Just won't join this up until I actually need it, so right at the end. So the fuse is there, the 50 amp, and my cable now is just here, so pretty much I'm going to be running it all the way down the chassis rail until we get to the back wheel, and then I'm coming up through those aircon rubbers that I was pointing at before. I forgot to press record for the last bit. Basically, all I done was put a tiny little screwdriver hole in the aircon stuff, and then I fed a small wire through from the top, and then just tied my cable off to it. And I'm a bit worried that I actually don't have. Oh, no, I've got enough. Just enough cable to do what I want to do. So now all I'm going to do is make up the earth lead and find a nice common earth for it. And then yeah, my dual battery, my battery and charger didn't rock up today, so I've done all this for no real rush. Oh well, at least it's going to be ticked off and done. Right, so that's everything ran now. This is just going to be 12 volt ignition wire for the charger. So, and then got my main earth or common earth, which I'm going to run off that bolt there for now and see how that goes. And then obviously positive in. So this wire is just so your charger turns off when the key's off, I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. So you can just wire that into anything that's got a power feed when your ignition's on. So I'm just going to pick up off this fuse panel back here, see what turns on when I flick the key on, and then I'll pick up off of that. just going to lift the drawers in. They weigh 80 kilo apparently, so the old boy's going to give us a lift. So my storage mod doesn't work with these drawers, so I've got to chop it all out. But for now I'm just going to put some blocks of wood underneath it so I can take it camping tomorrow. Right, so I just finished my gyro trip and my parcels have arrived. So the ITECH 40 amp hour lithium battery. It's a not a bad sized battery. I'm just going to have to modify my box a little bit so that the Anderson plugs can go into the side. I didn't realise, I thought there were terminals on top. So one of these will be input from the BCDC charger and an output to wherever I want to run my power source. And then this is the 40 amp hour ITECH BCDC charger with a MPPT solar input regulator built into it as well. So it's actually really simple. It tells you exactly where stuff needs to go. So that's your solar input, that's DC input, so alternator, and then that's DC, your output, so that's to all your 12 volt accessories that you want to run, or sorry, to your battery. So yeah, from your solar, from your car to the charger, from the charger through the black one to the battery. And then you use the other Anderson plug to go to all your other accessory power stuff. So it fits in there nice and snug. Weighs 7 kilos, so a lot lighter than the equivalent 100 amp hour battery. So that'll be just in there like that. There we go. So I'll just sit in there like that. And then the charger will be mounted just like that. And yeah. All I've got to do though is, as you seen earlier on, I've got to chop down this board and just a bit along here, like 100mm or so, so that it fits under the new drawers. And then I'm going to have to put a little hole through here so that my Anderson plug and all that can actually fit in there properly. So I'll just cut out a section inside of there for my cabling to run through. So let's get to it. Alright, so just quickly, that's your ignition wire all wired up and the DC input into the controller. Your black is your battery feed, so your output from the DC charger to the battery, and then solar as well. So solar is just going to stay kaput for now until I get my bonnet solar panel, and all I'm going to do is wire this up to the actual battery itself, and then another cable coming out of the battery, and then all I'm going to do is run cabling up to the front and put a little SIGGY lighter fuse panel in, and I'm going to also run power to this place, this section here, and it'll be flash as. I'm excited. Righto, so I've just made the adapter up. This will go from the speed from the battery to the input on the DC, or the output on the DC charger. So we'll just adapt it there around the corner here. I'm just going to make up another cable, make it a few meters long because I don't really know where I'm going with it yet, as the output for my switch panel, and then I'll stick all this back in again. Alright, so it's all wired up now. I just got to turn the car on and set it to lithium, because I reckon it's currently set at lead acid. So the way you do that is you start the car up, and then you unplug from the BCDC charger to the battery, and then when you unplug it, it will let you press the button to change the battery type, and once you set it to lithium, you plug it back in, and then that battery won't work again until you've actually unplugged it again to change the settings. And then this ignition wire, I was reading through the manual, it's optional, so I'm not going to worry about it, because this charger actually it'll keep charging the battery even when the car's not running, but it shuts off at 12.4 volt anyway, so it doesn't discharge your main battery. So I'm actually not too phased about running the ignition wire. It's too hard in my car anyway, because none of those fuses actually had accessory power. They're all either constant power or just tail light fuses. So I'm going to be lazy because it doesn't make a difference. Let's turn her on. Alright, so I've just unplugged from the charger to the battery, and then it will let you bring the camera in. So now that I've unplugged the charger to the battery, it allows you to change battery mode type. So first one's lead acid, then AGM, then calcium, last one's lithium. So you change it to lithium, and then you plug your charger back in again. Well, I'm changing it to lithium because I've obviously got a lithium battery, so I'm one of them cool kids now. I'm all excited. But you change it to whatever your battery type is. Alright, so that's plugged in. It's on lithium and it's charging, so it's not full yet apparently, but yeah. So I've just got this little battery monitor thing on my bobbo. So it says there 13.8 volts. It says 100% full, and I'm currently it's withdrawing no amps, etc, etc. Obviously because it's not drawing off of a fridge or anything. So yeah, that's it. All I've got to do now is run all my SIGGY lighters and sockets and stuff in my fridge. And sorry about the sweaty forehead, it's like 36 degrees today, which You Americans, I think it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. So just a quick one on the drawers, all in and loaded up. Got heaps more room than the old Titan drawers that I had in here. So it's got all my cooking stuff, and the actual depth of the drawers is quite massive. So got all my recovery gear and some camping stuff in there, and yeah, like a lot of this didn't fit in my old drawers, like that awning sideboard there. And this side's my like my thumper and just more camping gear, so pegs, and I've got my Stanley toolkit underneath and some sockets and stuff. And pretty much like my pegs used to be in there in the vacuum, but I couldn't fit my Stanley kit in the drawers before, and my thumper only just fit. So as you see, they slide real nice as well, even though there's a fair bit of weight in them. And you're supposed to bolt these down, but these wing kits I've just left loose, so you can still jam plenty of stuff down the side there. And yeah, there's actually like, it's amazing how much more room you can grab out of something which is specifically made for a vehicle rather than just a universal fit. So pretty stoked. For 900 bucks. I think they retail in Australia by the time you get them here for like 2,700 or something, so I'm well happy with that. And yeah, definitely recommend them.